This is Red. I left him in a sit while I was getting my video cameras ready. So he got up, so I just stepped into him and I said, ah, and he sat back down and I released the pressure. So here I'm just going to walk past him, just leaving him in a sit, letting him think about staying where he is until I ask him to do something. And we're going to go come by, which is clockwise. That's 100% around the clock, clockwise. Come by. So there's a little arrow to kind of show you what direction I expect him to go in. So when he comes to the balance point, I tell him there, and I expect him to turn in and just control stalk on that line. Now there does not mean that the dog has to walk a straight line, and this is just another clip from a different angle showing the same thing. So come by, and I tell him there, and he turns in, but see how he flanks back around because he's got to catch the heads of the sheep. I need the sheep to be looking at me, and they do, and then I change direction. So there kind of gives the dog a lot of freedom. He did not turn in there, so I step into him and I'm going to push him out a little bit just to show you an out. So out is 180 degrees off the stalk. There's an arrow there to show you. And I stop him at the end of his out. So I told him away and he went the wrong way, so I just verbally corrected him. So there's the circle showing you which way he should go. Away is counterclockwise, 100% around the clock. So I'm watching the sheep. When the sheep are looking at me, he's in the right place. I could tell him there. And then from that point, he can do whatever he needs to do to keep the sheep in that position. So right here, he needed to go a little bit further, come by. So I raised my stick and I blocked him the way I did not want him to go, and told him to come by. See how the sheep are just right there. So I'm going to ask him to push just because. So once he pushes, I really want him to back off, which was the hay, so he did not back off right away. I gave him the hay and he did. I asked him to walk in there and he just walked in too fast. So I pushed him out a little bit and let him balance off. Got my sheep looking directly at me. That's perfect. I can tell him to stop. So this is calling him off balance. This is a come by. He got up going the wrong direction, so I just corrected him and he sat back down. So I'm going to call him come by. I want him to go all the way around. Clockwise again, that's come by. I put myself along the fence because I'm going to try to call him in to me on an inside flank. This is actually the first time this dog has ever done this. You had asked about working him off horseback, and I think he needs to be able to drive to do that, so I started him on inside flanks. So an inside flank is the same as a regular flank, except for the dog comes in front of you between you and the stalk. So I'm going to call him around, come by. He's a little flat, but I'm forgiving it because he hasn't done this before. Call him in and send him on the come by. So basically just keep him going in a circle. And that's just to teach the concept. Once the dog knows the concept of inside flanks, you can flank them from any place, and they should make the decision to come in between you and the stalk if it's necessary. So I'm going to try an away here. He's a little bit flat on his away flanks, even on a regular flank. So he messed that up, so that's okay. I just stop him. I'm going to block him there with my stick, which is the blue arrow, and I'm going to call him away, which was the green arrow. So call him into me and send him around. So once he passes that balance point, I can call him here, away here. Call him into me and send him around again. Like I said, this is just to teach the concept of inside flanks. So calling him away again. So he got a little fast, a little bad attitude there, which is why he's getting in trouble. So I'm going to step into him. I need to see the dog stop, and I know he's not in the frame here, but he didn't stop. which is why I upped the pressure. And then when he did, I released the pressure by just standing still. So much better that time. Is a little sticky on that balance point. You see where he turned in there. So just give him a correction, kind of block him with my stick a little bit and send him around. So same thing there. He kind of turned in a little on the balance point, so I told him out. I'm going to let him balance off this time. Very nice. So I started this because if you're wanting to work on horseback, he's got to learn how to do these flanks without you directly available to him on the ground. So same thing, come by and away. I'm going to try to start calling him inside on an inside flank here. He finds this kind of difficult. So like I said, inside flanks were just introduced today, and he's just not there yet, but he'll get there. So I send him away. Funny thing about when you change from being on the ground to being on something, sometimes that changes a lot for the dog, and then their bad side becomes their good side. So I send him away because it looks like he's going to go easier on that side. And he actually is working really well for me in these weird situations. So he's getting in trouble here because he left a sheep. He cut it off and he left it out there by itself. There it is. And when I told him there, he didn't check up, so I hayed him until he did. Try to get him to go away one more time. And see how he's just a little bit tail up, real excited there, cut in a little close. That's just because the concept's new to him. But anyway, that was a quick video just showing you the directions and a little bit of the body language and how I get that working for the dog.